The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Songwriter Show. I want to thank you wholeheartedly for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarantos, a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are very important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show. I strongly believe that every single song is a story. The Songwriter Show is broadcast live on number one ranked W4CY Radio and has listeners in all 206 countries in the world and every state in America. The station is licensed with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, Sound Exchange, and has many partnerships throughout the music industry, including iHeartRadio and exposure to over 300 million listeners. Tonight's first guest is Ricardo P. He stands out in a crowd full of standouts. The music industry has seen many artists from all areas come and go with no staying power, but Ricardo P. has a unique and raw talent that exudes reality through street wisdom. He's a ladies' man, but rough and rugged, the South has a side that many are unaware of. Ricardo is a diamond in the dirt that has just surfaced in the music industry. Welcome to the show, Ricardo. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. So I know you're from Houston. We were talking about that a little bit before we got on. Tell us a little bit about the Houston scene. It's almost like Chicago. People don't really talk about it. They don't hear about it. They just talk about LA, New York, Nashville. But tell us about Houston a little bit. What's the scene like there?
Houston has an actually big music scene. There's a lot of artists there, especially a lot of hip-hop artists there that are thriving and doing great things. And then, you still go back to the artists that's been made a major platform, like back to Ghetto Boys and Scarface. You have Beyonce, she's from Houston. You have Chameleon there, Paul Wall. So, and it has a lot of young artists that's on the come up as well. So, I mean, it's not an industry city, but musically, it's definitely tons of talent there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Beyonce is she has a little bit of a reputation, right? She's a little bit big.
A little bit. He's a little bit big.
I love Beyonce. I'm just teasing you.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what got you going into this world.
Good question. Well, I just always had a talent for it. I would do it for fun. I would write stuff and play around with it. Then I started off getting a few talent shows in high school, and I was throwing parties also. Then I started just meeting different artists. And my uncle was actually a friend of one of the legends, Scarface. And then I happened to be in the studio just sitting there. And I just jumped on the microphone and started playing around. And everybody had that blank stare, like, what? What are you doing? Why don't you start? And that kind of took place from there, yeah.
Wonderful. What, anyone in the family in the music business?
No, that's the crazy thing. Just me.
Just you. Okay.
It's just me. I mean, unless it's down the line somewhere, but, not that I know of. I'm the only one with that talent. That's wonderful.
What about your songwriting process? Do you like to start with lyrics, melody, music, backbeat? How do you prefer?
It's a little bit of both. If I'm just feeling something, I might be driving and have a thought. I might just write an idea down. Most of the time, I like to hear the instrumental, though, because I think sometimes the instrumental gives the feeling of the song. If it's a smooth instrumental or beat, then, you're kind of thinking R&B-ish, or, if it's heavy rock, I think the beat also gives it the feel of the song. But also I can match words to a beat also.
Okay. So are lyrics your main thing? Is that where you kind of shine, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I come up with crazy concepts and different stories.
Do you try to write every day?
Yeah, I do write every day, actually. I
Okay.
get on my iPhone and just, whether it's a chorus or, a start of a verse, I just kind of jot and go back to it and keep on going.
Yeah. Do you like to set time aside each day to make sure you don't forget to do it, or do you just do it whenever you get a chance throughout the day?
It comes like secondhand. So, I just do it like throughout the day. I don't think it's a day that I've actually missed something, because I listen to music like all types. And, I might just hear something and get an idea. Like, even if I'm going to the store or listen to the radio, I hear something, I'll be like, if I can do it like that,
Yeah. Okay. I definitely hear you. What's a typical week like for you?
Typical week. I'm self-employed. I have a website that I'm working on, an app. It's called Military Chatter. So I'm working on that. I'm a veteran. I was in the Navy for like 6 years. So I'm doing that. I work on that every day. I have a 5-year-old, get him up for school, get him ready to go.
Yeah.
He's a handful. Yeah, he's a handful. I got him involved in little league sports and stuff like that. Besides that, just networking. I always trying to figure out ways to work on the craft and learn more of the business aspect, because I think the music is the easiest part far as, getting in the industry. Making music is easy. Anybody can make a song, just have the right beat and catchy hook. But definitely learning about publishing and, investing into the right markets and areas of my music. So I'm just like a person that studies a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's a whole different animal. What when you talk about your familial obligations, how do you juggle that? Is it difficult?
I got a good support system, so
Okay.
it's definitely not difficult. Everybody supports me in what I'm doing. Yeah, I support them as well, and it's just a good flow.
Yeah.
Because with music, you pretty much can create your own time, and then as far as writing songs, you have your phone with you everywhere you go. So even if I'm sitting at the game and watching my son, and then let's say he get out and he's sitting on the bench for a second, I can think of something, be like, oh, let me write that down real quick.
Yeah, it's true.
But,
so
most of the time I write, though. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say most of the time I really write, though, is like, at night when kids bed and everything. That's when I really can really focus and put, the pieces together.
Yeah, I hear you. I think the question everyone wants to know is, are you one of these irate parents at Little League? Do you like run around yelling at the umpire and, torturing other parents? Or are you pretty sedated?
No, I'm sedated because I'm also a coach. So,
okay.
Yeah, I definitely took the classes on, the parenting and the coaching and the yelling and all that. So I'm pretty calm. Like how I am right now is just how I am 24/7.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how some parents think their kid's going to, be a major leaguer, and they're crazy even from that age?
Yeah. And, most of the time the kid does not really passionate about it. They're just doing it for fun. Even if they're great at it, they might just want to do it for fun. So a lot of parents got to watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. How important, you touched on this a little bit, but how important are connections that you make in the industry?
Man, I think connections are literally number one, in my opinion, but the right connections, because, we all know in the industry it has so many people that, can do you wrong or, stab you in the back, and, you got to have people that you trust. But relationships in the industry, are important, because that relationship can get you a major deal if you want that. Just having that relationship, just knowing like, hey, Yeah, I know Ricardo is a real humble guy. You know, just off saying something like that can put you in contact with another person. You know, so
Absolutely.
definitely always try to do everybody right.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's amazing how many people in the industry are not humble or are not just good people. And it's pretty obvious sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So we got one of the questions from yeah, absolutely. We got a question from one of the listeners. Do you feel families have a hard time with being on the road for gigs?
Yes, I honestly think that it depends on your level of income, because, like, say if you're starting off, I feel that it's definitely harder because you got to be away. But I think once you make it to a good level, you're able to fly your family around with you. Like I've seen a lot of people do that. They travel with their family because a lot of people like to really travel. Or you're able to just hop on a flight real fast, or hey, I'm on a tour, but I want you guys to come see me this weekend, so I'm going to fly you out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Do you travel a lot for your work?
Yes. Most of the time, like summertime, I actually take my son and like everywhere with me. Like they like to travel, so we kind of move around a lot. Then I have my times where I do it myself. But sometimes, you just, like if I'm in LA, and I have a studio session, I go to the studio and maybe they might be at the beach, just keeping them involved, whether it's not physically with you in the studio, but still like around you. Like I think a lot of people would appreciate that, just being around you in the vicinity or in the same area, where you're being in New York and they being in California all the time.
Yeah, I think that's great that you can keep them involved like that.
Yeah, I just think if you're in a relationship or you have kids, just try to keep them involved as much as possible.
Okay. One of the questions I like to ask most guests on the show is, let's talk a little bit about scams in the industry. How can we not get ripped off? Any advice you have for us? Any scams you've fallen for that you want to warn the listeners about?
Yeah, I've definitely fallen for scams. The scams like this was more earlier on in the career that, hey, pay us and we can have a full panel of A&Rs, judge you and or stuff like that. And, it comes from like a Gmail or a Yahoo account, or, we can get you a deal, but it's not an official account. It should be coming from like such and such at Capitol Records if it's real, not a Gmail or Yahoo or stuff like that. And then sometimes, people get scammed on the paid shows. I've tried to pay for a show to be an opener before, and you don't really open. Like, oh, the performer's already performed, and the main act, the headline, performed, and now you got 5 minutes left in the club. Okay, you can get on right now. Everybody's already left. Yeah.
It's funny how they recycle the same scams over and over, and I've fallen for plenty myself, so I can empathize with you.
Right, so that and plenty of other things. A lot of internet things. I think with bots and stuff. You don't really want bots as not true fans. You want more organic things, and it's a lot of that out there. So, especially since the internet is like the thing now.
And sometimes you can't tell the difference. If they tell you it's marketing and you're trying to figure out, is it a real fan? And then you look at your, streaming and your numbers, and they don't budge and there's no engagement. You're like, well, that was pointless.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a million fans from China and 2 in the United States.
Yeah.
And your home is the United States.
Yeah. What,
definitely.
Ricardo, do you have any hidden superpowers or spirit animal or something?
I would say my spirit animal is the elephant. Patient, calm, humble, loyal.
That's awesome.
Determined.
That's awesome, man. I've never had anybody tell me the elephant. That's great. That definitely sounds like you too.
Yeah, that's my spirit animal. I'm into that stuff.
Yeah. If you could, what was the last gift you gave someone?
A chakra bracelet.
You say chocolate?
I don't know if chakra.
Oh, chakra.
Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, chakra. Yes.
Yeah.
Chakra bracelet. Try to keep people balanced,
That's important, man. That's very important.
Definitely. Keep yourself balanced in this world.
Do you try to meditate every day? Do yoga? How do you keep yourself balanced physically, mentally?
I meditate. Yoga, I haven't got into it yet. I've tried it. I need to try it again. I don't think I probably give it 100% try. But I tried it, and I don't know, I'm 6'5", so
so you would stand out a little bit in the yoga room. Yeah.
Right, the bending, and I was like, I can't put my leg behind my head.
Yeah. I can't either, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
So,
what's your favorite? What's your favorite food to eat? Like if you were in a green room and they told you they could have anything for you, what would you order?
Salmon salad.
Okay.
I love salmon. Yeah, salmon salad. Salmon salad is my favorite. If it's something like fast food, pizza.
Can't go wrong with pizza.
Yeah, pizza. I'm not a big drinker or nothing like that. So, like, if I have an actual drink, an alcoholic beverage, it'd be like Malibu pineapple.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right, I got a question
major
for you.
Like that. Yeah.
I got a question for you. So I give you an elephant. You can't sell it. You can't give it away. What would you do with the elephant?
I would try to find a place for the elephant. Maybe rent out something, and just keep it as a pet.
That'd be cool, huh? Have a pet elephant. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. One thing about elephants, they remember. So, if you get it and treat it right, elephants have a great memory. There were certain movies that it had on, if you evil, have those evil until like pets. Pets know,
Yeah.
You got a bad spirit or bad vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely try to keep it.
That's cool.
As long as the city or, place allows me.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully you don't have a studio and you're not on the third floor. I don't think an elephant would.
You're right.
Did you see Dumbo? I haven't seen it yet. I kind of wanted to see it. It looked interesting, but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the new one. The old school one I have, but no, I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah.
The last movie I seen was John Wick 3.
Was that good? That
yes.
just came out a little bit ago, right? I've
great
wanted
movie.
to see that. Okay.
Yeah,
I got to add that to my list.
Very action-packed.
Okay. Yeah, I like the first two, so I'll definitely have to catch that. So tell us a little bit, where can our listeners find information about you? Where can they purchase your music?
I have a couple of singles out right now. One is called No Reason. The other is called Too Bad. And they're available on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, under Ricardo P. As far as my Instagram and SoundCloud, you can look up Ricardo P Music. And that's everything. Facebook, all my social networks are under Ricardo P Music.
Wonderful. All right. We got about a minute here. Tell us about the song we're going to hear. We're excited to hear it.
Okay. The song is called No Reason. Me and a friend of mine, Nick Tyler, wrote it. Basically, it's just about, everybody, the trendy word now is drip, like I'm dressed nice, but they call it dripping. So, it's just basically saying, he's talking about how dressed up you look, and just taking trips and, living life. It's kind of like a smooth party song.
Okay.
Kind of R&B-ish, but a little bit rapish too.
Okay. And what do you want us to take away from it? Is there a certain message? Is there a certain vibe? What do you hope that we leave it with?
The vibe is just basically, I would say feel good about yourself. There's no reason to feel down. It's, it's a good riding song. Just to feel good about yourself.
Okay. All right, Ricardo. It was wonderful having you on the show. We're going to listen to your song right now, and I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great night, and here we go.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Got that purple in my cup, got that wood on my wheel, coming down, candy paint, H-time, how you feel, man?
I don't be talking that gibberish, I'm just maneuvering, pivoting. They talking all of the jazz, but really not playing no instruments. I don't complain, they got a stack, I got a safe, they got a check, I got a bank, I'm in the game, they watch me play, yeah. I pull up right now, that's my lifestyle. You can't catch up, hold up, pipe down, bust down right now. H-time came down, I need that right now, I need that. Girl, if you ready to live, I got a suite of decisions. All it's the same season. I got the drip for no reason. Baby, it's levels to me. You gotta work for them keys. Flying from Rome to Ibiza. I do this shit for no reason. Yeah, I do this shit for no reason. Yeah, hey. I just be dripping and dripping and dripping and dripping. I got the drip for no reason. Hey, I just be, What you say, pardon me, come again. That's my fault, I wasn't listening. That's my fault, I was just dipping in. So much sauce, I came out glistening. I just ignore, you got a bag, I on the store. You say no cap, I never lie. You got a foreign, I never drive. Hey, pull up right now, that's my lifestyle. You can't catch up, hold up, pipe down, bust down right now. H-time came down, I need that right now. I need that. Girl, if you ready to live, I got a suite of decisions. All it's the silent season. I got the drip for no reason. Baby, it's levels to me. You gotta work for them keys. Flying from Rome to Ibiza. I do this shit for no reason.
Got that purple in my cup, got that wood on my wheel, coming down, candy paint, H-time, how you feel? Got that purple in my cup, wood, coming down, candy paint, H-time, how you feel, man?
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Well, I want to thank Ricardo P. for that wonderful song. Definitely had a catchy, infectious groove to it. Next here, we're going to talk about our next guest I'm very excited for. Her name is Karlisha Hurley. Karlisha is a little bit of a different interview. She's not a songwriter, but she's actually an actress, and she's got a very fascinating story. She grew up in the Northern Territory of Australia, and she currently resides in LA for the last 2.5 years. So I'm very excited to welcome to the show Karlisha Hurley. Welcome to the Songwriter Show,
Hello.
Karlisha. How are you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sure you hear this all the time, but your accent is super cool. I love the Australian accent.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Yeah, you'll keep it, right? You're not going to get rid of it?
Oh, definitely. No, people are saying that I've kind of gone out of it because I've been living in LA for a couple of years now, that they're saying I'm losing my accent. So I'm trying to get it back.
Yeah. Do you ever have to, now for some parts or things you interview for, do they tell you that they want no accent? Or do they just let you be yourself? They do,
No, a lot of the time, yeah. As soon as I decided I wanted to come to America, the first thing they said before even learning to act, they were like, okay, do an American accent. And then come back and then I'll teach you to act. So it's a very big, yeah. Because there are a lot of parts for Australians at the moment, or ever.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something that you don't really think about. You know, you think like, okay, you're acting, you have to do different parts, but to be able to change your accent, and that's a whole other challenge for you.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a big part, if you're foreign at all, is learning the accent and being able to master it without having to think about it, because you're acting on top of that, and it's a challenge.
So you've been in LA for 2.5 years. What's the biggest thing you miss about home, about Australia?
Oh, the food. I really miss the food. It's just so different here. I don't know if it's like, I thought it was like the milk or something. There's something different within the food. But like Australian chocolate, there's a thing called Milo, which is like hot chocolate that I was obsessed with. Tim Tams, which you guys finally got. So that was a very exciting time for me. But definitely the food, for sure.
Australia is definitely on my bucket list. What do you recommend that foreigners like me definitely hit when we go to Australia?
Oh, I would say Queensland would definitely be, it's more of a beach, tropical paradise kind of thing. It's more vacation vibe. City-wise, I would go to Melbourne because I grew up in Melbourne for quite a few years, and I think it's a beautiful place. So if you even road tripping up that way, the views alone are amazing. It's very beautiful.
The place. Queens, is this a beach? Is it an island? You said Queensland. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Queensland. It's a state.
It's a state.
Sure. It's a state. Yeah. It's just a funny name, really.
That's all right. Hey, I'm showing my ignorance. That's cool. Tell us a little bit about when you grew up. Were there dangerous things around?
Yeah, we are known for that. There was definitely. We had a lot of snakes, crocodiles, spiders. Everything was very poisonous. But we didn't seem to mind it. I don't know why. We kind of, as long as you left them alone, they left you alone. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
America definitely thinks it's a lot worse than it is. So.
What about kangaroos? Any kangaroos torture you when you were young?
Oh, they're definitely not as nice as people think they are. They will they'll try to come after you. There was definitely a lot of them though. They were everywhere. No, we didn't ride them to school, but they were around us a lot.
All right. Sounds like you had a fun childhood. What else can you tell us about your childhood? What was it like?
It was amazing. Growing up in Australia, it's a very kind of fun, calm vibe. There was, it was just a beautiful place to live, and the people there are just very comforting and very accepting, no matter who you are. I know here there's a lot of issues with, racism and gender equality, and none of that seems to, even gun control, none of that seems to be it's very much, it feels very equal. It feels very nice and safe to say, in that way. Yeah.
Did you have an epiphany, or what got you down this path of acting?
Ooh, it was kind of an epiphany, I guess you could say. My mum took me to my first film at the theaters, and it was Titanic, of all things. And everyone was very obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio and the whole love story, but I was more really interested in Kate Winslet and her character Rose, and how she was able to escape all these other people around her telling her what to do, and she just went off on her own. And I related very much to that. I don't know why. And I was like, I want to be her. And that's when Mum automatically assumed, all right, let's stick you in an acting class, see how that goes.
That's very cool.
I fell in love with it from there.
Yeah. Well, and Titanic, one of the all-time classics. How can you not love that movie? And Kate Winslet, definitely. What a great actress. She's for sure.
Beautiful actress. I love her work, everything she's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this culture shock. Going from Australia, sounds like you're kind of a nice, sweet girl. Is LA, have you gotten used to it? Is it still kind of a culture shock? How's that going?
When I first came out here, it wasn't as much of a culture shock as other, Australians, because I had been coming out here once a year for an acting school, and I kind of understood. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what LA is like. They're a little crazy. They're a little out there, and I think that that's I'm a little bit out there and definitely crazy. So it suited me very well. And I was like, oh, okay, these are my people. This is where I need to go. So it wasn't, the culture shock wasn't too bad. I think there's definitely some crazy aspects. I see a lot of crazy drivers. They're a big part of LA. LA traffic is a big thing here. And I've seen a lot of interesting stuff. People were, putting on nail polish. They were folding their laundry even, I saw. Some guy had both of his feet out while he was driving. I don't know how he did that, but there's definitely been a lot of interesting people around.
So what you're trying to say is there's a lot of talented people in LA.
Oh, so many. Yeah.
Who would you want to act with, dead or alive? Any actor or actress, if you could pick one, who would it be?
Man, that is one of the hardest questions for an actor, I would say. But Jim Carrey, 100% would be someone. I've always looked up to him since I was a kid because I thought his energy matched mine, and I really loved all the characters he played. And I thought that was really interesting to find out why so many people love him so much. And I think it's because he is so uncontrollably, irrevocably himself that he lets other people want to be themselves. And that's why I love him so much. And that would be why I would want to work with him.
Yeah, he's definitely a down to earth. I don't think he's let fame get to him for sure.
Definitely.
What's your favorite TV series?
Oh, at the moment, all time.
All time.
Oh man, all time.
I know I'm making you pick one. I'm so mean.
I know. I would say just overall is Friends. It's just, you can't go wrong with any episode. All the characters are so well built, so well developed. They're just so funny, and they all work really well together. It's just, love Friends.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a great choice. I rewatched that about a year and a half ago, and it's timeless. Like you said, all the characters are well developed. Yeah. It's funny, and it's not they're not being mean. They're not racist. They're not. It's just good, clean humor, and it appeals, I think, to everybody.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. That would, yeah.
How about your favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie is a film with Miles Teller. It's called Whiplash. I'm not sure.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Some people, whenever I ask, it's definitely a 50-50 if they've heard of it, just because it's more an indie vibe. But that was, as soon as I watched it, I was obsessed with the all of it, the teacher-student relationship and all the characters. Miles Teller in that was amazing. And yeah. Is
there a favorite role that you've played or one that you look for?
Ooh, someone I've actually really wanted to play was Angelina Jolie in Girl Interrupted. She plays this, she's in a psych ward actually, and she plays this brilliantly crazy, depressed, kind of character. And I think that would be so interesting to go into the mind of someone like that and develop a character like that. Because then I would want to, go into psych wards myself and try to talk to, the patients, and you'd get a really good understanding of their life and what they go through on a day-to-day basis, which is something I'm really interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're in an industry where, I ask everybody about scams in the music business. You're in almost an even worse industry. So tell us about scams that you might have fallen for, that you're kind of, looking out for, and That should be an interesting conversation.
So many scams, like on a day-to-day basis. Everyone just saying, you've got a role, you'll get $1 million if you do this with for a role kind of thing. One of my ones that I did when I first came out here was a voiceover audition. Like, I did the audition and they gave me the role, and it was all through email. And it seemed very legit because they had like a website that doesn't make you really question it that much when you go into it. So you're like, oh, okay, this is fine. They've got, a studio and everything. And then they ask you to they send you a check, but you have to check it into a bank yourself. So it doesn't go through them, and it ends up they end up being able to hack your bank account and take all your money. So that would be something I'd be aware of.
Yeah.
Because I think it happens very often.
And I would imagine, unfortunately I'm a male, but I would imagine that for women it's even more risky. It's even more, there's predators out there that make it even more dangerous.
100%. Yeah.
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 What, are you a DC or a Marvel girl?
Oh, Marvel all the way. Yep. The Avengers, haven't seen the last one yet, so do not say anything.
You haven't seen the last Avengers? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disconnect you from the show now.
People keep saying that to me.
Oh, my God.
It is on the bucket. It's on the list. It's top of the list. It's Tuesday movie today, so hopefully that'll be on my agenda.
Yeah.
Go see it.
So you want me to tell you what happens?
I'm
totally kidding. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm not that mean.
Apparently it's very sad though.
So what is, if you met someone in an elevator, your elevator pitch, what's like the one film that you've been in or commercial that you're most proud of?
Ooh. There are two that I'm really proud of. One is a Hulu series that's coming out later this year that I wish I could say more about. But that's definitely one that I would pitch. But I would say there's a YouTube web series called #Me4TV that focuses a lot on mental health and how it and like young people and their take on mental health topics, which is kind of what I'm an advocate for, bullying and suicide and things like that. And it focuses a lot on that. Yeah, it's a very big part of my life.
Good for you. Yeah, I totally respect that. I think there's
thank you.
I was bullied as a child too, and it the old adage of it gives you thick skin, and it there's just some crap kids don't want to have to go through. It's one thing to have someone call you one little name. It's another thing to have them physically bully you and repeatedly bully you every day, and it's just crazy.
No child at that age should have to go through something like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you've met in your career so far, whether it's in Australia or in LA?
Ooh, the biggest challenge would be, as an actor, you're constantly fighting with yourself mentally. Like, why didn't I get this job? Or, why aren't I getting auditions? And how do I push myself further? What else can I be doing? And mentally, it's something that definitely, I think, affects every actor. And being able to be okay with that and find ways to cope with that is a really big struggle, I would say. Was one of my biggest struggles.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that, people in the arts, whether you're acting, whether you're painting, whether you're singing, making music, you're putting out a piece of your soul and you're bearing yourself for people to see. And it takes a little getting used to, where people are going to rip you down. And we're all trying to get better. We're all trying to, I don't want to say that make it, but we're all trying to get better every day, or at least most of us are. And
we all have a goal that we want to reach, and we're all trying to grow together.
Yeah. And, there's a fine line between destroying someone or giving them a critique. And some people definitely know how to do it, where you can learn and you can get better. And the flip side to that is some people think, well, this is my art, and if they don't get me, screw them. And I've seen some very closed-minded people in the arts that are doing the same thing for 10 years and don't realize that they're not getting better. And I kind of almost feel sorry for them too.
100%. And that rejection is one of the biggest part in being creative is, because when you're giving a part of yourself to the world, and not everyone's not going to like it. And I think the more you get to understand yourself and the more you have self-acceptance and self-love, you're less likely, not really care about what they think, but you're less likely to be so afraid not to do it because you're afraid of what they're going to say, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's having that courage.
Yeah. What's the most out of character thing you've ever done?
The most out of character thing I've ever done. I went on a train without a destination. I was.
Was this in LA or Australia?
This is in LA. I didn't know it was. It was one of my down moments. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I was in a very inconsistent place in my life, and I was near a train station, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on this train. I don't know where it goes. I don't know when it's going to end, but I ended up going to up to Santa Barbara, that area.
That's not a horrible place, though.
No, it was beautiful. Definitely, it led me to a great area, but it definitely could have gone the other way.
I understand. What's the most useless talent you have?
Useless talent?
Yeah.
Or useful?
Useless. We don't want to know about your useful talents. We want to know about your useless talent.
That's no fun. I have like double jointed elbows. So it looks like when I lean on my elbow, it looks like I've dislocated it.
Wow.
And there's no use to it at all. Like,
well, wait a minute.
One thing is I can tell people.
There's a use. What if you're like in a horror movie or something and, I don't know, they want you to,
very true.
to pretend that you've fallen downstairs or something. You could have your elbow laying there.
You could just my elbow. That is so true. Look at you looking on. That's glass half full.
You got to tell your producer that you're an advantage to them. They're going to save like $50,000 of CGI and not having to have your elbow be all bent out of shape.
That is so true.
I'm telling you, you should put that in your bio. I think that'd be hilarious.
I really will.
I think that'd be hilarious. If I was like reading that, I'd be like, oh, this is so cool. Because, I mean, not just horrors, but action movies. I mean, it's just a close-up shot of that elbow. I think I think you've got a gig now.
And I'm going to put that in my resume. I'm going to send it to all the casting directors. That's the one thing.
That's right.
My bio. I am double jointed in my elbows.
Listen, just remember that when you're in the next Titanic with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio, just remember you got to come back on the Songwriter Show and be like, I don't even know why I was on that show, but that advice changed my life.
Of course, yeah, you will be the reason I succeed.
All right, I think that's as good a place as I need to end the interview. So tell us a little bit about your website. Where can people find out about your IMDb page or your whatever information you have if they want to get in touch with you about a real TV show or movie or anything?
Definitely. Well, all my information, if you want to know more about me, is all on my website, karlisha.com, as well as my name, Karlisha Hurley, is all my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff.
Wonderful. I definitely want to thank you for being on the show. I think,
thank you for having me.
I think you'll definitely be a success, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, thank you so much. I've had so much fun.
You're welcome, and we'd be happy to have you on again anytime.
Beautiful. Love hearing that.
All right. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was Karlisha Hurley, and I want to thank her for being on the show, as well as Ricardo P. Two wonderful guests, obviously two very different interviews. It's the end of May here, and I got a new song coming out next month, but I thought for the end of this show, I'd let you listen to a song I released last year called Who Am I to Fight the Universe? Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow song, but I think that's just kind of the mood I'm in tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I want to thank you for listening in tonight. I want to thank you for all your questions. You guys make this show possible. And if you know anyone who wants to be on the Songwriter Show, please have them email me or contact me. And I hope everyone's unique story gets heard around the world. My name is Sarantos, and please join me here every Tuesday night to hear other amazing artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. Have a wonderful night, and God bless.
My mama was a hard-working girl. Sudden image can create a new world. Being is part of breathing, and believing is always a part of dreaming. I've wasted so much of my life drowning, used up so many of my days climbing. Spent most of my nights crying, so tired of always trying. Who am I to fight the universe? Who am I to curse the universe? The silly stars stand back at me. If God allows this mess to be, accept my destiny. Fresh ink on the newspaper, yet I don't feel any safer. Still smells the same, and I'm still stuck in a house of pain, so much pain. Mama said I was meant for something greater, so why am I denied my nature? How could she be so wrong? I don't feel like I belong. I don't belong. Who Does fate even really exist at all? Was I ever really in control? Icarus challenge the sun? Why was Oedipus blinded by the moon? What's done is done. I'm done. Fighting the universe.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.